Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Board Gamers. My name is Dave,
And I'm Dirk.
and today we're going to start our next evolution wave of villain reviews.
Yeah, it looks like it's a little crowded here too.
Yeah, a little crowded. And at least at the time of this recording, this is the last wave that would be under the old legacy rules. So with the new legacy slash current card pool, these would be the last of the villains that are in the legacy card pool. The next wave, Age of Apocalypse, is still considered part of the current card pool. And
Okay.
if we saw PAX Unplugged, when they had the in-flight report, they talked about that a little bit. And I believe sometime in December, we're supposed to get a rules update, and it's going to be kind of like a beta test of the legacy current card pool rules. So there you go. But yeah, so this is the first of two scenarios that use the Marauders, and this one is called Morlock Siege, and we're gonna be using a series of these guys, and it'll be random. You won't know which ones. So we're not gonna use all 7 of these. You'll use 3 of them, and we'll get to that when we get to that part. All right, let me lower the camera. Ooh.
Okay.
All right, so we got.
All right, so this is Knock Knock. So to set this one up, we're going to want to grab the Marauders. We'll use side A if we're playing standard. We're going to use side B if we're playing expert mode. So they're just two-sided on each of them. You'll grab the Morlock Siege, and you'll grab one of the standard encounter sets. And then you will have 2 modular encounter sets, and they suggest the military grade and mutant slayers. And we'll go over those. And then for setup, we're going to put the routed environment into play. We'll set the hide, treachery, and each Morlock ally aside. We'll get to those in a little bit. We'll shuffle the villains together, and without looking, to do this, that's what creates the villain deck. And the top card of that deck is going to be in play. So you've only got 1 villain in play.
All right. And then side 1B of Knock Knock starts with 1 threat per player, adds 1 threat per player per turn, has 16 threat per player threshold. Force response. After resolving step 1 of the villain phase, place 1 knock counter. If there is at least 3 counters here.
Oh, no.
No, I was trying to avoid that. There's at least 3
That would be not to cooperate.
3 quiet counters here. Advance to stage 2A. Then, if there are 3 villains under routed, the players win the game. So the first 3 turns, it's actually kind of interesting to see if you can get the counters on there or not, because that'll determine something when we get to stage 2.
Yep. All
right, but routed.
So routed, this environment, it's whenever you're playing in standard mode, then cards here are not in play. And then after the villain is defeated, you're going to put it under here. You'll discard each minion that shares a title with the top villain of the deck. So basically, you're going to have the villain deck, and you'll also have minions with the same name. So you're never going to have, if there's minions in play and that villain becomes active by being the top card of the deck, you'll discard the minion. And then the villain activates against each player in player order.
That's the part that really stinks, is they get the activation usually during the hero phase.
Yes.
Then on expert side, cards under here are not in play. The villain gains retaliate 1 for each card under here. So
yeah, so that's the big part.
So when you're fighting the 3rd villain, you're going to have a retaliate 2 on the villain that's out.
Yeah.
After the villain is defeated, put it under here. Discard each minion that shares a title with the top villain of the villain deck. That villain is now in play and activates against each player in player order.
Yeah, so that's the same. So the only difference between the standard and the expert is the retaliate that they gain for the minion or from the villains underneath there.
Okay, so yeah, we have 7 Marauders, and they are AB. So the first one we have is Arclight. She's Skill 1, Attack 1, 10 hit points per player. She's a brute Marauder. Force interrupt. When Arclight attacks you or an ally you control, you get to confuse a character you control, or Arclight gets a +2 for this attack. Now, one thing, each of the Marauders has this choose a thing that'll either give them +2 attack or something else bad happens.
Yeah.
And you have to deal with it.
Okay. And on the B side, her expert side, she's a scheme of 2, an attack of 2, 13 hit points per player. And then on the choice, you can either confuse a character you control with the highest fort, or she gets +2 attack. Right?
Then we got Blockbuster. This is the standard side. He schemes for 0. He attacks for 2. Again, when he attacks, you have a choice. Give Blockbuster a tough status card left. Or he gets +2 the attack, and he has 11 hit points per player.
Okay, and on the other side, on the expert side, it's a scheme of 1, an attack of 3. Again, the choice is either give him a tough status card or it gets +2 for this attack, and it will gain overkill now.
And he has 14 hit points.
Yeah, 14 hit points.
Okay. Then
Per player.
Then we got Chimera. She schemes for 1, attacks for 1, 11 hit points per player. And when she attacks, you either spend a mental resource or she gets +2 the attack.
Okay. 11 hit points per player. Okay. And then her expert side is scheme of 2, attack of 2, 14 hit points per player. And you can either spend 2 mental resources or she gets +2 for the attack.
All right. Then we got Great Crow. This is the standard size. He schemes for 1, attacks for 1, 9 hit points per player. When he activates, you either discard the highest cost card you control, or he gets +X attack for this attack, where X is the printed cost of the highest cost card you control. So yeah, you've got one of those 6 cost helicarriers. Ouch.
Yeah, that one's gonna hurt because you're either ditching it or it's hitting you hard.
So you better have front organization out.
Yeah, front office. All right, so his expert side, he schemes for 2, he attacks for 2, has 12 hit points per player. And then in this one, you will discard each card you control with the highest cost, so not just 1. So if you happen to be playing Maria and have 3 of those helicarriers out, yeah, that's really going to hurt. Because
bye.
yeah, he gets +X for this attack, where X is the printed cost of the highest one. So it's still, he will only still get the 6, but if you're discarding all of them.
All right. And then if you're playing an aerial character, he's going to bag him a bird.
Yeah.
Harpoon is 0 scheme, 2 attack, 10 hit points per player. And then when he attacks, you either take 2 indirect damage or you give him an additional face down boost for the attack. Okay. So they don't all have +2 attack. But...
Yeah. And the expert side, he's a scheme of 1, attack of 3, 13 hit points per player. You'll take 3 indirect damage, or you give him an additional face down boost that gains overkill. So yeah, I do like the fact that whenever they did these with the B-sides are just a little bit worse. So I like that. So it's not just their stats that go up.
All right. Then we have Riptide, 1 scheme, 1 attack, 9 hit points per player. And then when you attack, you either place 2 threat on the main scheme and 1 threat on each side scheme, or +2 the attack.
Okay. And then Riptide's expert side, scheme of 2, attack of 2, 12 hit points per player. It's 3 threat on the main scheme and 1 threat on each side scheme, or +2 for the attack, and it gains ranged and piercing.
All right, then the final Marauder we have here is Vertigo. She schemes for 2, attacks for 0, 9 hit points per player. And then when she attacks, you either stun a character you control or she gets +2 the attack.
Okay. And her expert side is scheme of 3, attack of 1, 12 hit points per player. You'll stun the character you control with the highest attack, or she gets +2 for the attack.
Okay. Then we move on to stage 2 here.
So the Mutant Massacre. So this one, whenever this one's revealed, each player is going to put the set aside Morlock ally into play under their control. So 2 set aside Morlock allies instead if it's a single player game. So if you're single player, you get 2 of them. Otherwise, you're going to get 1 per player. And then you'll shuffle the Hide Treachery from the encounter deck into the encounter deck. Oops.
Come on, dog.
Clint, watch out. Watch out. All right, so then you'll shuffle the Hide Treachery into the encounter deck. And if the previous stage was achieved by not counters, then you're going to give each Morlock a tough status card.
All right. Then stage 2B starts with 0, adds 1 threat per player per turn, has an 8 threat per player threshold. Action: exhaust a Morlock ally to shuffle the hide from the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. We'll go over that in a minute. If there are 3 villains underrouted, the players win the game. If this stage is completed or there are no Morlock allies in play, the players lose the game.
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons why you definitely want to try to get those toughnesses on the Morlocks if you can, because the Morlocks, they each have a thwart of 1, an attack of 1. They have 5 hit points. They are victory -1. So you're playing the campaign. Each one of these is going to lose you a victory point. They do not count against your ally limit, and card abilities cannot remove this ally from play. But as a force interrupt, whenever the enemy attacks you, it attacks the Morlock you control instead. So yeah, you want to try to make sure that you are in a position to block or prevent the damage to them if you can.
And there's 4 copies.
4 copies. Yeah, 1 for each player in a 4-player game.
And then this is the card that they're talking about, the hide card that gets shuffled back in when you exhaust the Morlock. Hide is a treachery, surge. When revealed, you give a Morlock ally a tough status card, which is nice because the Morlocks are always the targets now, the attacks. And as a boost, give 1 Morlock ally a tough status, give the villain an additional boost card for this activation. So yeah, so like this is a card that you can keep putting back into the deck so that you can get the toughs for the Morlocks. But it does have surge. It still does something. It's not a completely beneficial card. It does have a cost.
Yeah, but I do like the fact that this boost actually does have a benefit as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. All right, so then we've got bolstered by Wrath. So this is an attachment. It's a condition you attach to the villain. Gives a +1 scheme and +1 attack. But as a hero action, you can exhaust a character you control and spend X resources of any type, where X is the number of villains underrouted. So if there's nobody underrouted yet, then it's 0. So then you just have to exhaust a character. But then you'll discard this card. If it comes out as a boost, the card gets +X boost icons, where X is the number of villains underrouted. So again, no villains, it won't get it, it's just the single boost.
Okay. Then we got pushed to the limit. It's an attachment, gives +1 attack, attached villain. While there's exactly 1 villain underrouted, attached villain gains steady. While there's exactly 2 villains underrouted, attached villain gains stalwart. So it's improving along with the villains as you go through the game.
Yeah, so as you get further along, and they're still where they.
Yeah, and then a hero action, you could attach villain attacks you to discard. So you can trigger an attack to get rid of the attack.
Yep.
And the steady or stalwart.
All right, then we've got by any means. So this is a side scheme. It comes in with 3 threat on it. When revealed, you're going to place an additional threat here for each villain underrouted. So this one again gets bigger the later into the game you go, and it's got a hazard symbol on it.
It starts with 3.
Yep, send it.
All right, then we have in the Midst of Chaos. It starts with 3. It's got an acceleration token. When revealed, place one additional threat per player here for each villain underrouted.
So I thought it was the same, but it's a different symbol. Okay. Then we've got a Maraudin Ain't Easy. Again, starts with 3. You'll place 1 threat here for each villain underrouted, and this one has an amplify instead. So you've got 1 for each symbol.
Then we got territorial control. It starts with 4, crisis, and assault. So assault is you use your attack instead of your basic attack instead of your basic fort. When revealed, place 1 additional threat per player here for each villain underrouted. So obviously it's each of these is getting more and more threats started on it the later on you're in the game.
Yep, so that's a crisis one. And we've got 2 copies of Back in Action. So whenever this treachery is revealed, you're going to give the villain a tough status card, and you'll place threat on the main scheme equal to the number of villains underrouted. And if this one comes out as a boost, if you control a Morlock ally, you choose to either deal 1 damage to it or spend 1 resource of any type. So yeah, to be able to protect that Morlock, you're going to have to spend some resources, which that's probably going to be the better idea, especially if you're earlier in the game.
Then the final treachery we got is Seek the Weak. 3 copies. When revealed alter ego, this card gains surge. When revealed hero, the villain attacks you. If there's at least one villain underrouted, the attack gains overkill. And as a boost, if this activation is an attack, it gains overkill. All right, so there was 2 modular sets that was suggested.
Yep.
And this first one is military grade.
All right, so the first card we've got here for military grade is an attachment that provides 2 attack. You attach it to the enemy with the highest attack. So more than likely you're a villain, but not always. The attached enemy gains 2 retaliate. And as a hero response, after you attack the attached enemy, you can spend 2 resources of the same type to discard this card.
It's called heavy armament. Yep. All right. The next card is called Titanium Exoskeleton. It's another attachment. Armor Tech. Attached to the enemy with the lowest, with the fewest remaining hit points. Attached enemy cannot take more than 2 damage from a single attack. So hopefully it only has 1 hit point. When you put this on there. Hero action. Choose to either spend 3 resources of any type or remove a confuse or stun status from the attached enemy to discard this card. So yeah, if it's it says the fewest remaining hit points, but if it just so happens to be somebody with like say 8, that can be very annoying. It's going to take 4 turns to get rid of them.
Yeah.
You might want to spend the resources or.
Yeah. Hopefully this comes out whenever you don't have a full villain and only a villain.
Yeah.
That could be bad.
Right.
You're going to want to get rid of it.
Definitely don't want that on the villain.
All right, then we've got 2 copies of Inhibitor Collar. So this attachment gives -1 attack. You attach it to your identity. So this attaches to you instead of the villain or one of the bad guys. But you treat your identity's printed text box as if it were blank except for traits. So really sucks to be on your heroes. But it also blanks out your, it blanks out your identity. So no matter if you're hero or villain. But as an action, you can choose to either exhaust a character you control. Any character, doesn't have to be the one that's attached to. Or take 3 damage and discard this card. So and anybody can do this. So it doesn't have to be you. Anybody else can actually voluntarily do that for you as an action.
Okay. And then you read the comic, I think, from Mutant Genesis. At the very end, Senator Kelly has a visitor. I think it was Mr. Sinister, if I remember right. And the senator pledges some support to get rid of the mutants. And that's what this card is. It's the senator's support. It starts with 3 threat on it. It's an amplify, hinder 1 per player. When defeated, the first player discards cards from the top of the encounter deck until an attachment is discarded and reveals that card.
So yeah, attachment's bad, upgrade's good.
Okay, so that was military grade. Next is Mutant Slayers.
All right, so the Mutant Slayers, these are the ones that, like I said earlier, each of the villains will also have a minion version of them. So these are the minion versions.
Yep.
So we'll start off here with Arclight. She's got 1 scheme, 1 attack. She's a brute marauder, 5 hit points. She has retaliate 1. And as a forced interrupt, whenever she attacks you or an ally you control, you have to choose to either confuse a character you control or she gets +2 for the attack.
Yeah, and you notice they have the same thing as the villain versions, where when they attack, you have to make a choice.
Yeah. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I think they're all equal to the A side.
Yeah, probably. No, slightly less hit points, I guess.
Yeah.
Blockbuster, scheme 2, attack 2, guard. When Blockbuster attacks you or an ally, you can either give Blockbuster a tough status or he gets +2.
We've got Chimera. She's got a scheme of 1, an attack of 1. She's a psionic marauder with 5 hit points. She has patrol, and her choice is to either spend a mental resource or she gets +2 for the attack.
All right. Then we got Gray Crow, 1 scheme, 1 attack, 4 hit points. Marauder Mercenary, retaliate 1. And then when he attacks, you discard the highest cost card you control, or he gets +X attack for that shield helicarrier that you won't get rid of. So that would give him an attack of 7.
Yeah, and the interesting thing in here, it does say our ally you control, and so the Morlocks are allies, of course, so they have to be attacked. So
And that counts.
Yeah. So Harpoon here, schemes for 0, attacks for 2, 5 hit points. He's a brute marauder with guard, and their attack choice is to either take 2 indirect damage or +2 for the attack with piercing.
Then we got Riptide, 1 scheme, 1 attack, 4 hit points. He's an assassin marauder with patrol. And then when he attacks, he plays 2 threat on the main scheme and 1 threat on each side scheme, or he gets +2 to his attack.
Me. Vertigo, she's got a scheme of 1, an attack of 0, 4 hit points. She's a mutate marauder. She has guard, and her choice is to either stun a character you control, or she gets +2 for the attack.
And then we got a Mutant Slayer side scheme. Starts with 3 threat. Each marauder minion gains quick strike when revealed. Place 1 additional threat here for each character in play with 1 or more of the following traits: Mutant, X Factor, X Force, or X-Men. All those have mutant on it?
These are all marauders.
Oh, they don't. Okay.
Yeah, so they don't have any. So
it's just on your.
it's punishing you
Yeah.
for cards you have. So yeah, this one's really bad if you're playing a bunch of the heroes that came from the wave. All right, so bound by his business, we've got treachery here that whenever it's revealed, you're going to discard cards from the counter deck and tell a marauder minion that does not share a title with the card in play is discarded, and you're going to put that minion into play engaged with you.
And that was bound by business?
Yep.
There's 2
copies of that one.
All right.
Ready?
Yep. So that was a pretty one of the Marauders back. So
Vertigo. I like that.
okay. Yeah, so that was the Marauders. So that started off the next evolution wave. And this is a wave it's all about Hope Summers, which you'll hear more about that. But to get the hero's attention is the Marauders like attack the Morlocks, and you have to go in there and help them out. And this may or may not be the last we see of the Marauders. We'll see.
No.
But it was kind of interesting that the scenario did not come with a villain. It actually had a separate set of villains that, it's like a villain set, which I thought was kind of interesting. Is there's actually no villain technically attached.
Yeah, no specific one.
Well, because these have their own numbers. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you have to play this set, but it wasn't like, okay, these are all, Rhino's cards or something, and it always say Rhino attacks, Rhino does this, this is the villain, because you don't know which one you're going to get. So when you do the scenario, it's, you don't know which of the 7 you're going to start with, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, which is fun because, I mean, with us, we don't normally know who we're going to be fighting against anyways. So we don't do them, but even people who know, this one puts them in a little bit of a question mark there because they think they're going to have an idea, but they don't know specifically which ones they're fighting.
Right. And the Marauders are with the scenario, but they're also, the spoiler, they're with another scenario as well. So they're not attached specifically to this scenario.
Yeah, but it's cool because you can use them in other just generic random setups too.
No, you can't.
Can't use the minions?
The minions you can't.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about the
I'm
villains.
talking about the minions.
I'm talking about the villains
Oh, okay.
themselves. I thought that was really unique that the villains aren't locked
Oh, yeah.
to a specific scenario like we've always had. They're actually used in more than one scenario.
Yes.
So that's pretty cool. Because like before we had like the same villain, like the Collector, but there were 2 uniquely different collectors. Even though it's the same character, we had 2 distinguishedly different collectors for the 2 scenarios. Now we have the same villains in more than one scenario. So, all right.
Yeah, it's fun. So whenever you play this through as the campaign, you actually get to fight them again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I
Well,
enjoyed it. So.
thank you for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe.
And if you want to see more content by us, go and hit that notification bell down there, and you'll get alerts whenever we post new videos. All right, see you.